This is George Dionne with KNAC.com, and I'm here with Mark Boals of the band Shining Black. If I knew absolutely nothing about Shining Black, how would you describe the band's music to me?
To me, it's melodic hard rock. I mean, if I have to put a genre on it, but I mean, there's a good melodies, great guitar playing. It's very listenable hard rock, I think.
The new album, Postcards from the End of the World, comes out March 18th on Frontiers Music. Is this album a concept record?
Not at all. And I had no idea the world was going to go to shit like it has. Just trying to make, we were trying to progress a little in the style from the first album. I think it's a better album. I like the first album a lot. I was proud of it. But I think this one's even better. I think the songwriting's better and the songs are better.
The first song, Postcards from the End of the World, the single, it sort of relates to what's going on in the world today, even though you said you didn't mean for it to be that way. We
didn't plan it that way. So things happen sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. You have another single out, 100,000 Shades of Black. Is there a story behind that particular song?
Well, the song tells a story, but I mean, it's just, typical love lost and, looking for love, kind of looking for meaning in life kind of thing. That's all.
Do you and Olaf collaborate together, or does he just pretty much put together the concept and you come in, you do your thing?
No, we work on the music first. Like he gives me guitar riffs and I do melodies, and then we work together on the lyrics from that point on. And then I sing it, and it changes a little. It's a step-by-step progression kind of. But it's a good chemistry that we have, I believe. It goes really smooth and fast. He's very easy to work with.
You're in the U.S. and he's over in Italy, so you guys trade back and forth through the computer like everyone else has been doing during the pandemic.
Exactly. Yeah, it's nicer to be in a room with somebody, but now we're all used to doing this stuff this way. So
do you see Shining Black ever playing any live shows, or is it going to be more of a studio project?
No, we want it to be more of a band project. It started out as a studio project, but Olaf and I like working together so much, and he's put together some young guys to play the other instruments, and they're really, really good and really hungry for success. And all right, I think we've already got some offers to play in South America and Japan. It'll be later on this year, and we'll take it from there. But I'm looking forward to playing live with these guys. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We have 2 albums of material now, so we have plenty of stuff to do a show. Hopefully we can get an opening slot in the United States. We'd love to do that.
Kind of tough in the United States for this style of music, because the United States only really likes the artist of the day or the artist of the month or whatever it is. And, they kind of turn their back on the neoclassical or the melodic metal stuff. I mean, there's certainly an audience here for it. It's just, I'm not sure promoters have gotten behind it.
Yeah, it takes a lot, and it's actually been that way for quite a while. It's just not gotten any better. I mean, there's European bands that play stadiums in Europe and they play clubs in USA. So
well, in that respect, you've been around for a while, quite some time. There must be maybe not the gigantic arenas or the fame and fortune that came with the 80s and the early 90s for the rock bands, but it must be a lot easier to work on things on your own terms at your own timetable versus, the label breathing down your neck and they don't like this and you got to do it this way and all that other stuff. Yeah,
well, it's a different ball game now, but we still argue with the label over which songs to release for a single and stuff like that. But they basically give us free rein with the music to make the album and stuff. So, but it's changing all the time, and I hope it's going to get better. This streaming thing has not been figured out totally yet, but we are where we are. I wish they would just go back to vinyls. I love having a record in my hand and watching it go around and listening to the analog sound, no ones and zeros.
Well, you guys have a vinyl available for this album, I believe, in the Frontiers shop. And I see that at least Frontiers is doing well with vinyl sales. I mean, it's a small I mean, it's not millions of vinyls, it's hundreds of vinyls, but I mean, it still shows that there's a demand for that.
Well, people are buying turntables. I don't know if they know how to use them, but yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of just like a novelty thing for now. But I mean, for the true audio purist, they will always go for the vinyls because they know the real analog audio is still the best sound. But you got to have, I mean, there's guys with $200,000 systems. They have a $60,000 turntable with a $4,000 tone arm on it and a $6,000 cartridge, and then you have, I go on and on. I love that stuff. I can't afford it, but I have a very, very good system. Not that level, but that's the esoteric guys that have money to do that.
Yeah, I have a Fluence record player, which it's about $300 and $400, and then the speakers, and then the needle, and then the subwoofer, and it's getting to be a really nice sound.
Nice, good. I'm glad you can appreciate it. When people try it, they like it. I mean, it's just the kids nowadays, they don't know what that is, but they're learning. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It'd be nice to sell a physical product again. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. I just read an article that CDs are making a comeback.
CDs?
Yeah, more people are buying CDs than they have before.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, but you can't listen to it in your car anymore. You have to copy the CD onto your thumb drive so you can put it in. You can stream
That's
it.
true. I missed the first Shining Black cycle and album, so I wanted to know how you and Olaf first got together to form this project.
Well, we had talked about, they had talked about, I was supposed to join the band Labyrinth, like, I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe it's longer than that. And they had asked me, and I had agreed to do it, but then it turned out I wasn't able to do it at that time. So we had met kind of theoretically then. And I haven't heard from him for a long time. And then it came, Frontiers asked me to do a project album, and they said, would you want to work with Olaf? And I said, oh yeah, sure. And he said the same thing when they asked him. And so Frontiers basically put it together again, although we had known each other before, but not really, never worked together. But when it came time to make the album and start writing the songs, we hit it off really good. It just clicked, everything clicked, and we had a really good chemistry together, even though we were working long distance even then. So
Frontiers music likes to put a lot of guys together and team up, and I would think a vocalist of your caliber has been asked numerous times to do numerous projects on the label.
Yes, but they're not always like this. This one is something different about this, working with Olaf, which that's why I want to make it into a band. I want to see how far we can take it.
No, I was absolutely impressed with it. I mean, there's some teams that Frontiers puts together just doesn't work. And then there's other things that are just like fantastic, or sometimes they're fantastic and it doesn't come back.
Yeah.
It's good to see you guys are moving along.
Yeah, thanks. Uh-oh. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Don't worry about that.
I worry about the internet because the internet kind of is intermittent on the ship here, but it's hanging in there today so far.
Are you playing a rock cruise or something, or is this like your personal boat?
Yeah, I'm in the Caribbean. We were just docked in Costa Maya, and we were at Cozumel the day before, and before that we were in Haiti. It's just going around the Caribbean till Friday. I'll be back home Friday.
Speaking of Frontiers label, a couple years back, you released the best of album that featured your solo stuff and your Ring of Fire material. Does that signify that you're putting Ring of Fire to bed, or is there a possibility that's going to come back?
It's funny you should ask, because I'm just finishing up a new Ring of Fire album.
Nice. Perfect.
So yeah, you'll be probably seeing that album fall or winter this year, because it's just about done. A little bit behind schedule with it, so I don't have a release date yet, but you'll be seeing. I think this year, later this year.
Okay, that's awesome. That's great news.
And that's totally different music, though. It's going to be really more classical oriented kind of rock. So Vitaly, I've been writing the whole album, well, most of the album with Vitaly Kupri, who plays with Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and he's always been the keyboard player in Ring of Fire. But he's a classical pianist by trade, by nature, and he likes writing mini concertos for songs.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if that's your thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I personally love your Ring of Fire stuff. It's just hard to get a hold of.
Okay.
You have to get the greatest hits because the single albums are kind of, eBay. You got to go.
Oh yeah, yeah. Maybe I should re-release those. I should make a store and re-release that stuff. I didn't know if anybody would want it.
Well,
But
you got one sale, but if you put it on vinyl, I'd want it even more.
No, so would I. I want those vinyls. That's a good idea. You got me thinking.
No, there you go. Good. Making some headway here. I don't know if Frontiers wants you talking about other stuff that's not on their label, but I saw that you were in a modern rock band called Foundry, and it's sort of not something that I'm used to hearing you in. It's pretty good material. If you want to talk a little bit about it.
Yeah. Well, that's I like doing different things. And that's one of the different things that we work with a producer named Colin Breton, and he's a Papa Roach guy. He writes and produces all Papa Roach stuff, and they've had quite a few hits actually. The Foundry is not like Papa Roach, but with him producing it, it's more modern rock sound than my other projects.
Speaking of different, I interviewed Vince DiCola earlier this year for his Only Time Will Tell album, and you appear on one of the tracks. And I thought that was unique as well because it's material I'm used to hearing you do heavy metal and hard rock, and this was more contemporary melodic rock.
Yeah, I had worked with him and Don Perry on a project way back, a long time ago. I don't even know how many years ago. And that was just demos. He released they were just demos. They weren't really full-on recordings, but they sound pretty good for demos. On a little 16-track reel-to-reel with, using an SM58 microphone. It was like nothing fancy. It wasn't meant for release, but that's okay.
Is there any bad blood over that being released? You sound great.
No, I don't. No, not at all. I mean, and people approach me all the time for my old demos now. I don't take care of my old tapes of song ideas, which I really should. I have garbage bags full of cassettes with demos, and I really need to go through them. The only problem is I need to catalog all this stuff. I don't know. It's just, there's so much there. And I get labels. Century Media keeps bugging me for demos. They want to release my demos from what I've done with a lot of different people. So yeah, so maybe when I get to going through those cassettes, I don't know.
Have you ever met Jeff Scott Soto? Because I feel like you'd have a lot in common with him as far as your careers are very parallel. You've been in multiple projects. You guys are both powerful singers, and well, I guess you both work for Yngwie Malmsteen too.
Yeah. That's how both of us got started that way. And yeah, he's a cool guy. Yeah, I've met him quite a few times. We've hung out. We've been on the same stage at NAMM different times, jamming with different people and stuff. And he's a cool guy. Yeah, good singer.
Are you working on anything else besides Shining Black and Foundry?
Not yet, because I'm finishing up the Ring of Fire. And
okay.
After the Ring of Fire, and in between putting together the live shows coming up, I want to do a new solo album. So that'll be the next thing on the plate.
Excellent. Well, it sounds like you got a full plate. The new Shining Black album is Postcards from the End of the World. Fantastic metal, symphonic kind of sound to it. I dig it, and I wish you the best of luck with it.
Thank you so much. And nice to meet you.